Hello, hello, good people. Hello, welcome back to another episode of Make America Think Again with Vaughn. I hope everyone is doing well. Down below, you see the correct spelling of my name, my Instagram information. If you need a little pop-up news throughout the week, just pop onto my IG page. Trust me, I post plenty of information to keep you up to date on what's going on in the world. And then also this week, Tuesday, is my birthday. So I'm asking everyone to go to, I'm like, did I spell that correctly? Go to defiance.org backslash reporters. Defiance.org backslash reporters, and please make a donation. More than ever, we need to make sure that independent media is supported. And this is not a fun for me. I am not a reporter by profession. So all those independent reporters out there that are online, social media, etc., please make sure that you are supporting them. Just this week, you had both the felon and Pete Hegseth talk about how they're taking over the media and how they can't wait for Larry Ellison to take over CNN. Like this is the beginning. We are in the beginning stages. Well, actually, we're kind of halfway through the stages of getting us to state TV. So independent journalism is going to be so important. It's so important right now, but so much more important moving forward under this regime. So please support defiance.org backslash reporters. On behalf of me for my birthday on Tuesday, please, whatever you can afford, please support them. Okay, so today, what they don't want you to know. What they don't want you to know about what is happening in the Middle East, what you're not seeing on mainstream media, and you will not see on mainstream media, what very few even independent media outlets are able to cover because information out of the Middle East is being very restricted. But let me tell you what I found. I have found a couple of pages, a couple of sites that are able to get some information out there. I have also noticed that some of those sites disappeared over the course of this week. And I'm quite sure that's connected to them releasing information that Israel does not want out there. Iran has their folks in a blackout as well. So we are limited information that we are receiving. However, here's what I found. So Israel, whether you know it or not, is taking a beating. They are taking a beating every single day from bombing from Iran. And also, if you don't know this, Russia and China are helping Iran out militarily and also in regards to information and intelligence. So they're getting some help and they're putting up a good fight. I think they're putting up more of a fight than America and Israel ever anticipated. And that is why Israel is taking a beating. I have seen the people in Israel are protesting. They have taken to the streets to protest, but they are getting met with strong police restrictions in regards to the protesting. I have seen videos where they are sleeping in parking garages, in tents, going into underground bunkers. Now, last week, they were dancing in the bunkers. This week, I'm seeing videos of them restricting how many people can come down to the bunkers. Like they're literally fighting over how many people can get into these bunkers. And there's a very solemn mood now versus the dancing and partying that was happening last week. So another indicator that Israel is taking a beating. The Iron Dome is not working too well. It is not. It's missing. Here's the thing. Iran has this bomb that when they send it over, this bomb, when it takes off, it splits into like 80 different little bombs. So even though the Iron Dome is trying to deflect, there are still some that are getting through and that are causing damage. And I can't think of the name of that bomb right now. If you know it, please put it in the comments for everyone to know. But it's been very effective for Iran. Um, also, what you need to know is there appears to be an internal revolt amongst the American military members. Some of them are refusing to fight because Israel is not their country. And they're like, we're not fighting for Israel. So there's an internal revolt that is happening as well. I don't have exact bases. Let me look at this information again. Confirmed, several U.S. military bases are experiencing internal revolt as a huge number of soldiers are refusing to go to the battlefield and die for Israel. This will have a devastating impact on Pentagon and White House internal, and the White House, period. Internal revolt is the first time it has been experienced. So that is happening. I don't have exact military bases for you where this is happening, but these are the reports that are coming out of Israel. Also, I don't normally fuck with Grok, not at all. But this is information that Grok has provided after the question was Googled. Grok said, replied that more people worldwide root for Iran in the current conflict. No single global poll exists, but recent surveys show U.S. support for strikes is around 27 to 44%. That's coming from Reuters, PBS, and Quinnipiac. In Europe, 56 to 76 oppose. And then Arab opposition is 87%. 87%. So most people are opposing this war of choice, just period, across the board. You have the military members, the soldiers actually having an internal revolt. You have people on the streets in Iran trying to protest against their government for taking them and getting them involved in another war. And then you have this administration. Number one, they tried all last week to get the emotional buy-in from the American people. And kudos to all the American people that said, fuck no, we're not down with this. We are not down with the war. This is what you campaigned on. And now you're getting us involved in another war. So kudos to the American people for not falling for the bullshit, for not falling for the okie doke again. But they were throwing out all of these reasons why. That's why it seemed like they were lying because they don't have a strategy and they don't have an exact reason other than, hey, Bibi said this will be great for Israel and you'll get something out of it too. But they kept throwing things out there to see how they could get the emotional buy-in from the American people, and they didn't get it. And another thing that you saw were these videos that were coming out of the White House where they were connecting games with military strikes. I saw one that it was like cartoon characters bowling, and then there was other Nintendo games that were connected to actual footage from strikes, aerial footage from strikes that were happening on the ground in Iran. A lot of them looked to be in fields and open areas. That's number two. Number one is it was so childlike and juvenile and ridiculous on the surface that they would include these little cartoons with actual war material. But here's what's really going on. Just to give you a heads up, what they are trying to do to you is desensitize you to war as a whole and also the loss of life. So the thinking is, if we make it seem like a game, or we connect it to games and cartoons and animation, what happens is people will eventually become desensitized. This bombing that you're seeing connected to it will not seem as serious. You might even start laughing at it because of the cute little characters in the animation. It's all to desensitize us all to war, what is happening on the ground, those dead little girls that were bombed, that were evaporated in a school. I think up to 180 people died in that school, teachers included. Is to desensitize us to the loss of life of the military members, U.S. military members that we know the numbers are higher than 13. I told you last week they were posting, there was a job posting for people to hire people to just gather up the belongings of the deceased military members. Now, if you only have 13 people who have lost their lives, do you need to put out an ad to hire a bunch of folks for that to be their job, to gather their belongings? So either there are more than the 13, a lot more than the 13, or they anticipate there being a lot more than the 13. Which would also take me back to what I found out last week, and I posted it here in a previous video, that there was leaked information out of the White House that they are going to drag this out until September, like leading right up to the midterm elections. So please be very mindful of what they're trying to do to your mind with these videos and making them cartoonish. I mean, on the surface, it looks like, did a 12-year-old make this? Did they give this over to a middle schooler? No, it's more heinous than that. It is trying to mess with your mind and desensitize you to war, desensitize you to death. That's what the little cutesy, little bowling, little cartoon character videos are all about. So be very mindful of that. So that's all I have for this one. This is some of the information they don't want you to know. Israel does not want you to see the footage, does not want you to know that they are being bombed horrifically, and they are losing. There's a lot of loss of life. There's a lot of loss of infrastructure there that is happening in specifically Tel Aviv is where I've seen a lot of the information coming out of. They don't want you to see that. They don't want you to see the protest in the street. America doesn't want you to know about the military that is revolting and refusing to go to the front lines to fight in yet another manufactured war and potentially lose their lives. And Grok, we know that Grok is responsible for some shiesty shit, with children and all kind of stuff. But on this one, I believe that Grok gets it right. I believe that these statistics are correct. And then just keep in mind, when Alex Preddy and Renee Good were murdered in the streets of Minnesota, right after that, you heard one of the icy individuals say, "Wow, this is just like playing Call of Duty." That's what they want. With you watching those videos, they want you to view the loss of life like a freaking game. And it is not a game. It is not a game. These lives are lost. They will not be coming back. They will not be going back to their family members. I saw one military service member who lost his life. He had a 3-year-old and newborn twins and a wife. He's not going back to that family. So these are some of the things that they don't want you to know, and I'm going to keep you informed because it's news you should know.